So this is the agenda for the day, where we will be discussing about that what is the CEH and why you should choose CEH over other ethical hacking certification program into this industry council iLab. So the first thing is, what is a CEH program? See, if you will go through the EC Council tagline about the ethical hacking, they usually say, to beat a hacker, think like a hacker. And this is always true. So let me give you a brief idea about the CH program here. The CH is basically security give you best performance with the least use of the hardware as compared to the Kali Linux. Because in order to run the Kali Linux, you must have at least 2 gigs of memory in your virtual box, while the Parrot security can provide you better performance with the same hardware. Apart from that, EC Council added some new technologies to their latest CH version 11 certifications. Like they have added the Docker and the Kubernetes. I mean, like in nowadays, that everyone is working on the container, and there is a reason behind that. Like I will give you an example. A developer develop an application and then sent it to a tester to perform the testing on that application. But unfortunately, that application was not running into the tester computer because there was some compatibility issues with the libraries or some any other compatible files. So what was the solution for that? For that, the developer can take advantage of the container, and container is having all the required applications, the libraries and the bins or the DLL file which are required to run any applications. So when both of the persons are using the same technologies, are using the same platform, then it will be easier for both of them to run the applications in their environment. Apart from that, you will get the WPA3 encryption into CH version 11, where you will learn that how can you hack this latest WPA3 encryption as well. Here, EC Council has focused on some more attack vectors like the targeted attacks, which are APTs. So that was a common technique the hackers were using, where after compromising the target, they were finding some ways to make them undetectable for the long time and also to enumerate more information from the target. And they have added one more thing here, that was the adoption of the cyber kill chain. See, the cyber kill chain was developed by the Lockheed Martin, and it's a kind of framework which helped the organization to understand the process of the cyber attack. So if you understand every point in the chain, then the cyber attack is happening on the organizations, you can break it down. So many organizations have taken their own approach to defining the correct cyber kill chain with varying degrees of the success as well. So for the purpose, I'm just going to give you a brief intro about the cyber kill chain as well. Like in each stage of the cyber kill chain, which is related to the certain type of the threat, whether it is internal or the external. But for the most part, whatever threat you face, whether it is malware, phishing, or any insider threat or more, it is likely that they will fall into one or more of the activities on the cyber kill chain. Like earlier, EC Council was using its own CEH methodology. What was that? Where we were assuming if someone want to hack a target, then they will go through the information gathering, then they will go through the scanning the target, enumerating the target, gaining access, maintaining access, then clearing the logs. But now with the adoption of the cyber kill chain, this breakdown is into 7 stages now, like we start with the reconnaissance. In this stage, attackers are selecting their victim and researching their security vulnerabilities. Then they may be locating what sensitive data you have, where it is stored, who has access to it, and what the best route are into the network. Then the second stage is the weaponization. The attackers have finished their research into your organization into reconnaissance stage, and after that, they might get some vulnerabilities on some selected targets. So into the weaponization stage, they are working out that how best to get inside the network. So this might be through a virus or the malware to exploit some known vulnerabilities. Then the hackers just go through the delivery stage. The attack method is delivered into the target environment into this stage. So you can say that the actual method is used into this stage, but like where the attacker are using some malicious email attachment or some using some website or using some USB devices to deliver their weapon to the target. Then the next stage of the hacking is the exploitation. In this step, the malicious code has been inserted or the vulnerability has been exploited. And then attackers are setting themselves to execute on their mission. Then the next stage of the cyber kill chain is the installation, where the malware will install into the target access point, which will enable the attacker to get access to the target environment. Then the next stage of the cyber kill chain is a command and control, where the attacker has interrupted access to the target environment, and then they can manipulate the entire network and they can control their target. And the last stage of the cyber kill chain is action on objective. So the original goal of the attack can now be executed in this stage. The outcome of this could be anything, like it can be data theft or the ransomware. So whatever the objective is, if the first step is completed successfully, you have been the victim of a data breach and are likely going to face, the huge cost to reputation and to the bottom line. So now with the CH version 11, you will go through each of the stages of the cyber kill chain. Apart from that, there are few more things added for the new attack vectors like the web API, webhooks, web shell, OT attacks, and some cloud-based cyber attacks as well. Apart from that, EC Council just designed some challenges for the ethical hackers, where you will get access to the official lab of the EC Council and you will be testing your knowledge over there. Like if you are going through any module, after completing some theoretical concept, you will do it practically. So when participant ask that what will be the ratio of the theory and the practical, so there is no such ratio over here. You can say whatever you are learning theoretically, you will do it practically. So if someone is telling you, hey, can you hack a website by using cross-site scripting? Okay, if you understand the concept, then the trainer will help you to understand that how can you do it practically. So it is possible with the CH training program. Apart from that, after completing the module, trainer will help you with a hacking challenge where you will test your knowledge, your skills, or your understanding on that completed module. If you got the entire concept from the modules. So these are the things which make the CH credentials unique and put these certifications out of the box. And here you can see the CH course outline. So you may ask that, Rahul, that what we are going to study in this CH training program. In the CH, you will be learning different types of footprinting, the footprinting tools, and their countermeasures. You will get a better understanding of the network scanning technique and also the scanning countermeasures. You will learn practically that how can you enumerate your target in order to collect the information, and what are the different types of vulnerability assessment or the vulnerability assessment tool. Then you will be driving through the system hacking methodology, where you will be learning that what are the ways to get into the system to fulfill your goal. Then you will be learning the different types of malware. So when I'm saying the different kind of malware, so mean I'm talking about the latest malware type, whether it is Trojan, virus, worms. Also, you will learn the APT and the fileless malware. And also you will be learning about the malware analysis procedure and the malware countermeasures. Then you will be learning about the packet sniffing technique and the sniffing countermeasure as well, the social engineering technique, insider threat, identity theft, and also the countermeasure for the social engineering attack. Then I have chosen one of the module here to demonstrate practically, which is DOS and DDoS attack. See, like, what is the goal for an organization in terms of information security? Each of the organization is dedicated to protect three key elements of the information security, and we usually call them CIA triad, where each of these key elements have the same values for the organization. If any of these key elements are compromised, then the overall security of the organization is threatened, where it is including confidentiality, integrity, and the availability. So the organizations are maintaining the confidentiality by adopting some cryptographic technique, or by implementing some access control, or by using some other techniques as well. To maintain the integrity, the organizations can take advantage of the hashing. But what about the availability? Like, there is no 100% solution available that can help them to maintain the availability. So they are trying best. But remember one thing, that there is no end line for the information security. The best you can do is just keep updating the security solutions in the organizations. So when it's come to the availability, it can be a competitor or the script kiddie or any malicious user who will try to compromise the availability of your organization services or the data. To do this, they will go through some kind of attack like the DOS attack or DDoS attack. So after completing this outline, I will be going through some practicals where I will demonstrate that how the attackers take advantage of DOS and DDoS technique. You must also understand that what are the different kind of DOS and DDoS attack technique the attackers usually use to compromise the availability of any service, so that they can make any service unavailable to the legitimate user. So when the service is not available, then what is the use in the organization to have that service? For example, any organization is hosting a website. Like, from there, the user can book the flight ticket. So their overall business is dependent on the availability of that website, while the competitor has hired a hacker and asked that person to make that website unavailable. In this case, the attacker will use some DOS or DDoS technique to, to just exhaust the server resources or to flood the network bandwidth so that they can make the service unavailable to the legitimate user. So you will be learning that what kind of attack techniques you have for the DDoS, what is the concept of the botnet, what are the DDoS attack tools, and what are the countermeasures for the DOS and the DDoS. Apart from that, you will get a better idea about the session hijacking technique and their countermeasures. Then you will be going through the firewall ideas and the honeypot evasion technique. You will get access to thousands of tools which will help you to evade the firewall and ideas. Then you will understand that what are the countermeasures. Then you will learn that what are the different types of web server, web application, or the web API attack. What is the hacking methodology to hack any web server? What are the different kind of hacking tools and what is their countermeasures? You will be going through the SQL injection attack, the evasion technique of the SQL, and some SQL injections countermeasures as well. As you know, when the organizations are dealing with the web applications, then they usually face this issue. Like one of the key issue is the cross-site script and the SQL injection attack. You will learn in depth the different kind of cross-site scripting attack and SQL injection attack. Then you will get better idea about the wireless encryption, the wireless threat, the wireless hacking methodology, the wireless hacking tool, Wi-Fi security tool, and their countermeasures. EC Council has added more than 10 labs for the mobile platform hacking as well, so that students can get a better understanding of the mobile platform attack vectors, Android and iOS hacking, the mobile device management, mobile security guideline, and also the security tool. Then the new things added to the CH version 11 is IoT hacking. Now you see that you are having IoT around you and you are using it in your day-to-day life as well, where every device has become the smart. Like you can control your air conditioner through a remote control or through your watch, through your or mobile phone. Even you can control your room heaters, you can control your car. All these are connected through the IoTs. So it is connected through the internet, which is making it vulnerable. After completing the CH version 11, you would be able to understand that what are the different types of IoT and OT attacks, what is the hacking methodology, what are the hacking tool, and what is the countermeasure to protect your devices into the network. Then you will be learning about the cloud computing technology, which will contain some container technology, serverless computing, cloud computing threat, the attack, the hacking methodology, and also the security technique and the tool. And finally, you will learn the different types of encryption algorithm, some cryptographic tools, public key infrastructure, the email encryption, disk encryption, the cryptography attack, and also the cryptanalysis tool. So it is all about you are going to learn into this latest CH version 11 certificate. So what are the job role? After completing the CH training, after completing this, you can apply for the pen tester as the company hire white hat hacker to conduct the pen testing for their internal infrastructure. Apart from that, you can apply for the incident handler because the ethical hacker can be a part of the incident handling team as well. They can help the organization to assess their security for the organizations. So you can be the part of the disaster recovery plan as well, and you can be the part of disaster recovery team. You can also join the company to test their network security or the application security. You can also be the member of information security auditing team. So these are a few job role which you will get after completing this CH training. So I will not go through more theory over here, and I will drive you through the practical directly. So I will introduce the EC Council iLab here. So during your training program, you will get access to both the online lab and the offline labs. The online lab platform is the EC Council iLab, while your trainer will help you to get access to this offline lab as well, where you can deploy all the virtual machine locally on your system, and it will not require the the higher hardware in your system. If you have 8 gigs of memory in your laptop, it's enough for you to run all these virtual machines. Like here into CH version 11, you have almost all the latest operating system, like from Microsoft over 2019 to 2016 to Windows 10 to Ubuntu, the latest version, and also an Android machine over here. Apart from that, you have Parrot Security, the Kali machines. So now it will depend on you whether you want to work on the Kali or the Parrot Security, because both of these platforms are equipped with tons of hacking tools, which will help you to perform hacking, pen testing, or the forensics. So it's your choice. So let me go through some of the lab from this iLab. So what I have planned for you for today's session, that I will be going through DOS attack. So everyone is aware about the DOS already. See, this kind of attack have become a major threat to the computer network nowadays, because these attacks attempt to make a machine or the network resource unavailable to the authorized user. Usually, the DOS and the DDoS attacks will exploit the vulnerabilities in the implementation of your TCP/IP model protocol, or there can be a bug in any specific operating system as well. So in a DOS attack, attackers will flood the victim system with some non-legitimate service request or the traffic, so that they can overload its resources and bring the system down, which will lead to the unavailability of the victim's website. So the goal of this DOS attack is not to gain any unauthorized access to any system. Even it is not intended to corrupt the data, but it is all about keeping the legitimate user away from using the system. In this case, the DOS attack will target network bandwidth or the connectivity, in which the bandwidth attack will overflow the network with a high volume of traffic using some existing network resources. So as an expert ethical hacker or the pen tester, you must possess sound knowledge of the DOS or the DDoS attack, so that you can detect these kind of attack and can mitigate these attack and can protect the organizations as well. So let me go through a few kind of DOS attack here. If any attacker want to perform the DOS attack, then they have to choose a type of the DOS attack first. For this, you have various technique, like you have SYN flood attack, or you have service request flood, or you have UDP flood, you have ICMP flood as well. So these are few techniques to perform the DOS attack. I will go through this SYN flood attack first. So I believe that most of you have basic idea about the networking already, and you understand that how the TCP protocol works. As we know that TCP is a connection oriented protocol, which means if two PCs are exchanging the data, so before starting the communication or exchange of the data, they need to establish a connection first. For this, they go through a process called TCP three-way handshake process. Where if two PCs wants to exchange some data, then they have to go through this handshake process first, like this device A will send SYN packet to device B, then device B will send SYNACK to device A, then device A will reply back with an acknowledgement here. So this process is called TCP three-way handshake process. And I'm assuming that you have idea about this TCP three-way handshake already. Now this TCP three-way handshake process is vulnerable. It has the vulnerability which provide the right to the attacker to perform the SYN flood attack here. But how? For example, this machine is controlled by an attacker. So first of all, this attacker will spoof some IP addresses, and then it will send a connection request to the target server with the SYN packet. Now, the server is accepting the connection on the desired port, then it will reply back to the SYNACK. Since all the IP addresses are spoofed here, then no one is going to reply to the server with an acknowledgement. In this case, the server will wait for another 75 seconds to get an acknowledgement from the source. But here, no one is going to reply to the server. That means you can make one connection busy for the next 75 seconds. What if you are doing it on the large scale? If you are sending thousands of connection requests at the same time, that means you can consume 1000 connection at a time. In this case, the service will be unavailable if you have a limit of the number of connections here. If the server can handle, for example, 2000 connections simultaneously, in this case, attacker will take advantage of this vulnerability and will exhaust the server resources by sending 2000 service requests here. So this is an example of the DOS attack. But how will you perform this? So let me show you this on the EC Council iLab. And you will also get a chance during your training to perform this lab exercise practically. So here you have various operating systems like Parrot Security, Windows 10, Windows Server 2019, 16, Ubuntu, Android. Here I will use this Parrot Security to attack my target. So for example, I want to check if my target is hosting FTP service or not. As we know, FTP service are hosted with port number 21. So first of all, I will check if my target is listening on port number 21 or not. For this, I will use this Nmap tool, which is the best tool to perform the port scanning. And here I'm looking for port number 21 on my target. And here I'm targeting Windows 10 machine. So what do you see in the result? My target is listening on port number 21. As the port number 21 is open and the service is FTP here. Now what you can do, you can try to flood the target server with some SYN request. For this, you can use Metasploit framework, which is equipped with thousands of payload, thousands of exploit, knobs, post. So there are a lot of things with the Metasploit framework. In order to access that Metasploit console, you can type MSF console here. So it may take some time because it will be check connection with the database first. So once the database is connected, you will get a prompt like this. So now you can see it has more than 2000 of exploit, more than 1000 of auxiliaries, 345 post functions, the number of payload, encoders, knobs, and some evasion technique as well. Here I will take advantage of the auxiliary module where I want to perform DOS attack for TCP service where we want to perform SYN flood. So here I'm using SYN flood. So what are the available options in order to use this module? You can check it by typing show options. So here you need to specify the remote host, mean your target. You need to specify the remote port. So in our case, we are targeting port number 21. Also, you can take advantage of the S host as well, where you can spoof the source port or the source host as well. So here, what we can do, we can spoof any source address so that my target cannot trace me back. So let me set these options here, where I'm setting up our host first. So this is the address of my target. Then you can set the target port, which is port number 21. Then you can spoof the IP address of any host here. Here we will be using any IP address from this lab, like I'm using 10.10.10.19, which is the IP address of server 2019. Now you are ready to launch your attack. You can type exploit or run. So now the module is running and you are flooding your target on port number 21. If you want to check the result, you can navigate to Windows 10 machine, which is our target. So do you see the performance of Windows 10 here? Actually, the attack is in the progress. So that's why it became very slow. So what I'm gonna do, I will use this Wireshark tool, which will help us to capture the packet so that we can check if someone is attacking the system or not and by using which technique. You see the number of packets here. Let me stop capturing this. You see the number of packets are coming from this 10, 10, 19, which is not the IP address of Parrot security, but it is the spoofed IP of server 2019. So this is the way to perform SYN flood attack by using Metasploit framework. You can try some other technique as well, like there is a command line utility available with Parrot security called hping3, which is a packet crafting tool, and it can send ICMP echo request and will support TCP, UDP, ICMP, and also the row IP protocol. By using that tool, you can perform network security auditing, firewall testing, or manual path MTU discovery. You can also perform advanced trace route, and it will give you the facility to check the remote operating system as well. Also, you can check the uptime of any remote device. So let me show you that how can you use that tool to perform the DOS attack. I will stop this attack first. I will use hping3 here, where you will specify your target. So my target is 10, 10, 10 here. In order to spoof any IP address, you can use -a. Here we are spoofing 10.10.19, which is the IP address of server 2019. We want to flood port number 21 this time. Then I'm using --flood. Now press enter. So here we are flooding our target with this number of SYN packet on port number 22. If you will run the Wireshark again on your target machine, then you can check it. You see the number of packets are coming from 10, 10, 19. So this is the way to perform any DOS attack on your target. So you have like more than 200 tools in your CH repository, which will help you to perform this DOS or DDoS attack. And it is not possible to demonstrate all these here, right? Apart from that, you must be aware about some web application attack like cross-site scripting attack or the SQL injection attack. So I would like to demonstrate one of the SQL injection attack here. So let me access a website here on this attacker machine. I'm accessing www.moviescope.com. So here we got the login prompt, and we are assuming that we are a registered user on this website. That means I have valid credentials over here. So let me log into this machine. See, we logged on to the website successfully. See, whenever you are using the web application, so there are few parameters exchanged between the client and the server. For example, when you are clicking on the view profile, then you will see the parameter into this URL field. So when I'm clicking on view profile, what do you see here? It is pointing to an ID into the database, which is equal to 1. Now I want to check the cookies value here. So I will go through inspecting the element on this page. In the console, I will search for document cookie. So this is the cookie for this particular user. Now I want to check if we can extract the database for this moviescope.com web application from the database server. For this, you can use some automated tool available on your Parrot security machine. SQL map is one of them, where you can specify your target URL by using -u option, and this is the target URL. Let me copy this. Then I will specify the cookie value here. Okay. Now we are testing. So if that target web application is vulnerable, then it must detect the type of the database server. So it is showing us that it looks like the backend database management server is Microsoft SQL Server. Do you want to skip the test payload specific? So you can specify here if you want to skip them or not. Okay, I will go through the risk level 1 here. So if our target server is vulnerable, we must get the entire list of the database available on the target server. So it is showing us the get parameter ID is vulnerable. Do you want to keep testing the others? See, once we got the vulnerable ID, then there is no point to keep testing for others. So I'm just choosing option no here. But unfortunately, we did not get any database list over here. Let me try again with --dbs so that we can get the list of the databases this time. And finally, we got the list of the databases. And here I want to target this moviescope. So I'm specifying the name of the database here, which is moviescope. And this time I want to get the list of the tables from this database. So these are the available tables inside that database. So we must get the user login ID from this table, user login. So this time we are specifying the table name as well, user underscore login, and we want to dump all the data from this table. Now press enter. See, we got the user login detail here, where the user ID 1 is for user Sam, and Sam is the admin, and the password for this is the test. Another user is John, password is QWERTY, then Katie, Apple, Steve, password, Lee, test. You can try on this website, right? So that's all. In this way, you can perform SQL injection attack on any website. What about the cross-site scripting? I will demonstrate a very simple cross-site script on this website. For example, this website is containing some field for the user input. Like when I'm going through the contacts, then I got this field here where I can provide some input. So instead of commenting here, I'm entering a script here, which will generate an alert on the page. And this alert will be like demonstration of cross-site script. So if this website is vulnerable to the cross-site scripting attack, then we must get an alert once we refresh this page. Let me refresh it. So we got this message here on the screen, demonstration of accesses.